morning on creating negotiable instruments. I think all of you will find this to be a very interesting and educational webinar. This webinar will be recorded, but it will cost you $50 to get a copy of this webinar. I was going to charge $150 for this, but it's like I said, I'm gonna do some free stuff, because this is really it took me years to learn how to do a lot of these things that I'm showing you right now, and some people don't appreciate some of the things that people's experience and the things they do on a daily basis. Me and Gene Keating, we were just on the phone, and we discussed that earlier, that a lot of us are researchers. We work very hard to learn a lot of the things that we show people and tell people about. And I don't do it straight for just to make some money or something like that. I do this because I like helping people, and I think we need to see a change in what's happening in this country. But this is a webinar on creating negotiable instruments from scratch. I'm going to be showing you how to create your own negotiable instruments. There's going to be a Dropbox for this that I've created right here, and this will have everything that you need in this Dropbox right here. And I thank you too. I thank all of you for tuning in on to my show. I mean, my show is becoming a success, and it's growing every month. It is, it's phenomenal, and sometimes it makes me nervous. I understand what they say about success. It's like, man, there's a lot of people listening to me now. I get nervous sometimes. I'm like, wow. But anyway, this right here is going to be a Dropbox, and you're going to see what we're going to be using is Adobe Photoshop. I did put a copy of an old copy of Adobe Photoshop in the Dropbox. If you want to install this, the serial number for it is right here. There's a serial number for you to use it or whatever, and you can install that on your computer. All right, and this is what I'm going to be using today is Adobe Photoshop, and showing you how to make a negotiable instrument. Now these negotiable instruments, they come in two types. You will notice that you have, this is called a United Nations Convention on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes. And you need to understand that there is this distinction between the two. The bill of exchange is a three-party instrument. It's really nothing but a check. And a promissory note is a two-party instrument. And that's the primary difference between these. We're going to be dealing with bills of exchange today, because I want people to understand how the bill of exchange operates, because it ties in to your, somebody say, I only see a white page. You don't see these words right here on the screen? United Nations Convention on International Bills of Exchange? Well, I don't. Does everybody else see these words on the screen? Or is he the only one that doesn't see anything? Okay, you see the words. Everybody else sees the words. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, this document, you can see, you can get it, you can download it off the internet. It's very easy to get a hold of. One thing that I want people to understand is that the United Nations Conference of International Bills of Exchange ties into Article 3 of the UCC. All of this stuff is derived from the law merchant and the law of negotiable instruments. It's not something, somebody said he lost the whole screen. I can't tell you. I don't know what's happening on any of your computers. All I can tell you is, what we're doing here. So, but anyway, all of this comes from the law of negotiable instruments, and what you are doing is you are constructing your instrument to give it legal force and effect. This is a part of the game. There is no money. What your instruments have to have on them, they have to have the correct verbiage, and they have to be constructed properly, and they have to contain all the necessary elements on it that's going to give it legal effect. Now, an interesting thing is that you hear a lot of people, every now and then you may hear someone who gets arrested for tendering a negotiable instrument, and subsequently somebody's trying to contact me saying they're in jail or something like that, and can I help them get out of jail, or all these different things. These are people I don't know. I don't know them from Adam or anything like that. And they said, well, I just gave them a bill of exchange, or I gave them a promissory note or something like that, and they arrested me. Well, it never fails that when I go and I go in and look at their paperwork, they usually do something that is illegal. They mix public and private. These are private instruments. All right, these are private instruments. You need to know that. You don't want to make your instrument public by any means. These are private instruments. So we're going to be showing you how to do that, and we're going to be going through this document right here to do it. Now, if you don't know certain words, we're going to have to get some terminology out of the way. Like, I had to do this myself. I had to learn what a drawer was, a drawee, what to draw was, what a payor is, and a payee. You're going to have to get all those terms down in your mind, who the drawee is, who the drawer is, who the payor is, who the payee is, who the obligor is, who the obligee is, who the grantor is, who the grantee is. You know, you got to get this or and e down in your mind. You know, one is giving something and one is receiving something. That's basically what it boils down to. But there are certain, as we go along, we are going to outline each of those meanings. Now, when you read the United Nations Convention on International Trade Law, and I'm going to read this through to you, and I'm going to explain it as I go. United Nations, and if you're out there listening on the internet, you can download a PDF version of this United Nations Convention on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes, and you can follow along. I'm on page 1, and it says United Nations Convention on International Bills of Exchange and International Promissory Notes. Sphere of application and form of the instrument. Okay, this is a very important part. This is where, why would you use an international bill of exchange, and how must it be constructed? This is very important for you to know. So, we go from Chapter 1, Sphere of Application and Form of the Instrument, Article 1. This convention applies to an international bill of exchange when it contains the heading International Bill of Exchange, Central Convention, and also contains in the text the words International Bill of Exchange, Central Convention. So in other words, you need to have this on your bill of exchange, somewhere on it twice. That's going to have to be on there twice. All right, so we're going to go to Adobe Photoshop real quick, and we're going to start, and this is after you, if you've never used Adobe Photoshop before or a graphic editor, some of you may have a little experience with utilizing a graphic editor, some may not. Now, I always do mine an 8 by 10, which is legal size. I think I got that right. 8 by 10, legal. Well, I mean, which is letter size, not legal size. And the reason for that is that I'm going to make this like a check. If you've ever going to like Office Depot or Staples, you see they have boxes of checks there. Those are the checks that I utilize. I really don't like Office Depot. Those are cheap checks. If anybody who's ever constructed instruments knows that you need to buy quality paper and order it from a supplier. When you get something from Office Depot or Staples like that, that's usually very cheap. Back in the day, I used to order paper from a company in New York called Academy Systems. I really like their paper right here. They have some good programs and everything up in there. But you can get it from anywhere. This is just someplace that I had preferred. Supplies and forms, you know. Oops. But you can get paper from anywhere off the internet. Business checks. And you'll see that these checks come in different forms, like some of them come in 3. You're not interested in that. How we're doing ours, as a matter of fact, where is the images? Okay, right here. This is the image that we're looking for. We're looking for something like right here, or maybe, I think that's a good website to go to. And you can see the different types of paper. And how we're going to be constructing ours is right here, where the check is at the top. All right, this is what, so when I'm doing this bill of exchange, I'm doing it in Adobe Photoshop so everything will print out and fit on this document right here. All right? That's what I'm doing. Just get FYI so you'll know. So I'm going to also show you how to do some things a little creative as well. And the reason why I want you to understand how to do things creative, because one of the problems that a lot of people have is that they like to copy other people's work. You know, you see them and somebody does a bill of exchange, next thing you know they pass it to you and you're making that bill of exchange just like their bill of exchange. And really all it really says is that you don't know what you're doing. You're not a businessman. You're not, you know, you don't know, you know, because when you look in antiquity and you look at real business people who do this stuff, and I'm going to show you this real quick. And you go all the way back in history, look at all these different types of bills of exchange. None of them look the same. These are all bills of exchange. All of them bills of exchange are from the old school. I like this one right here because you'll see the postage stamp. A lot of you may be familiar with the postage stamp. And so, well, why do you put a postage stamp on negotiable instruments? So they'll say, well, why do you put a postage stamp on, you know, people are doing little money orders and, or they'll convert the voucher that they receive from their utility company or something and change it into a money order and then put a postage stamp on it. Well, there is some significance that they would do that, and back in the day, they're called revenue stamps. That's the name of it. And you will see them put these revenue stamps on instruments all the time. And it would help you, behoove you, to go and look and see how they used to make. You know, he talked about it right here. You know, they do this all over the world, too. International money wire taxes, a bill of exchange. You'll see just different types of bills of exchange. This is one right here. And you can see the 45-degree angle where they did a banker's acceptance on it. Sometimes it's at a 90-degree angle. But those are banker's acceptances right there. This is a bill of exchange. You'll just see different types is all I'm trying to get at. And when you do your research, so you want to put a little bit of creativity in your particular bill of exchange. So one of the things I like to do is I like to start with some graphics. I'm going to show you some graphics first. And essentially, I'm going to start with something simple, but you can use any graphic you want. Usually what I like to use the United Nations logo. And I just go right here and find me a logo. And I always like something that is with a white background, like this right here. This right here would be perfect. And I will save this image. Hold on just. And then what I would do after I save it, hold on just a second. Once I save that image, I open it up in here. Now, once I open it up in here, I'm going to transfer it over here. Now, just pay attention to what I'm going to do. Okay, this is a logo. I'm about to show you how to do a ghost image in your logo. All right, this is a ghost image in your logo. And you can use any image you want. Any image you want. Any image you want. As a matter of fact, hold on for a second. I'm going to show y'all something. Hold on. Give me just a second. I'm going to bring it right back in a second. Y'all give me just a quick second. All right. Okay, that's cool. All right. I'm going to show you how. Let's say I'm gonna do a couple of images too. I'm gonna do American flag. And usually want black and white images. And sometimes I use color if it's going to match the background of the image that I'm doing. But I usually go in there. I use Google Images a lot. You know, you can find if you buy logos or wherever, you can get them from everywhere. But I'm just doing this because it's real quick. And I may have might do black and white. So I might have like something like this, you know, to go into the background, or like this right here. I think this will be real good. It's like a nice one, so you just save images, and then you save it. All right, then you go into here and you open it. There's your flag, and you open it. Now, so let's say I'm going to put this image over here in this document. So what I'll do is I'll go up here and I'll click on select, and I'll go on color range, and I'll take this eyedropper and I'm going to touch it in the black, and then click OK. Then I'm going to turn around. Now that highlighted everything in white. Now I'm going to do select, and I'm going to inverse it, and that grabbed everything on that flag, and then I'm going to put edit, copy, and then I'm going to come over here, edit, paste. Now I got my flag over here. This right here is my directional button. I can click on that, and I can move it to where I want to move it. Now, if I want to make the size bigger, I click edit, free transform, and now I can make this thing any size that I want. Now also, it may be a little, then I click this, apply the transformation, yes. Now also, it may be a little too dark. So I may want to go to the layer, go to my layer style, and did I do this right? Hold on just a second. Do my adjustments right here, and go to my brightness and contrast. And lighten it up a little bit like that right there. Now, oops. So now I got a ghost image in the background right here. So my next thing is I want to go back to this right here, and it says that you have this convention applies to an international bill of exchange when it contains a heading, International Bill of Exchange Convention, and also contains in this text the words International Bill of Exchange. So the heading has to have International Bill of Exchange, oops, hold on. Got my fonts too big. Wait a minute, we got to make sure it's exactly worded right. Well, they got it in small. June Central Convention. All right, so we got that's a small B, my bag. And do it just what it says to do. All right. So now we got International Bill of Exchange, June Central Convention. Now, you may want to get a little fancy here or something, you know, like I usually like to do. And you can do some amazing things with Adobe Photoshop. You can come in and you can compress things, bring things together. This right here is your tool for your lettering. So then you can click on it and just highlight it. And then I can reduce the spacing or increase the spacing. Let me reduce the spacing. Yeah, I think that'll, well, let me increase it a little bit more. It might be a little too much. And then you can change the font on it as well. Like this is Courier, you can use, and I always have a lot of different fonts. What I use that? I use that Old English. I think it's called Old English right here, text. You know, I like that right there, or something like that. You know, give it a little flavor. You know what I'm saying? You could do that. Right here's my picture. Hi, now, and I'm spelling things wrong. And so you see how you can play with this thing a little bit. But for right now, for the class, I'm just gonna use so everything can be read real easy. I'm just putting ideas in everybody's head. I'm gonna leave it like this. Now another thing is that we can have guidelines. You go up here and pull out these guides to help me keep everything lined up. And the next thing that's very important that you want to put on your instrument is the word private issue. Private issue. And I always make it probably about, 8 points. Private issue. Now another thing I always do is always put my in red as a warning. And what I did here, I just clicked on this red, and I can click anywhere in this thing and make this whatever. I can make it black, red, light. It lets me contract the hue of whatever I want. So I wanted it far red as I could, and that changed that over here into red. Now I can do the same thing over here. And I also want a guideline over here as well. Private issue. And you want, because you want them to know that your instrument is private. It's a private instrument, okay? It's not a public instrument. And I'm going to explain the difference between the two. Now, before I go on, can everybody see everything? Type yes, please. We got a full class today. Is everybody following me so far? Okay, great. All right, so now we got our private issue international bill of exchange. All right, great. All right, good. Now, the next thing that we want to put on here is the drawer information, which is who you are. So what I'll do is I'll pull out another little guideline, and then I'll write drawer. And I don't even want drawer in red. I'm switching back to black. Well, before I do that, though, let me go back to our instructions. I forgot we're supposed to be reading instructions. Now, and the second, you're going to see also that when you read this United Nations Conference on International Trade Law, it's going to always have two sets of instructions. one for a bill of exchange, and one for the promissory note. Right now, we're just concentrating on a bill of exchange. We're not doing a promissory note. So we're going to go to Article 2. An international bill of exchange is a bill of exchange which specifies at least two of the following places and indicates that any two so specified are situated in different states. So both of these right here, you got to have at least two of these. You don't have to have all of them. You want two of them. The place where the bill is drawn, the place indicated next to the signature of the drawer, the place indicated next to the name of the drawee, the place indicated next to the name of the payee, and the place of payment. A bill of exchange, Gary, like I said, is a three-party instrument. A bill of exchange is a check. A promissory note is a two-party instrument. They're both negotiable instruments and can be negotiated. But one is drawing off of something. It's directing a third party to do something. And the reason that we are utilizing the International Bill of Exchange, because this goes hand in hand with your secured party creditor process. Because when you make a deposit at the Treasury Department with your bond and your birth certificate, in those instructions, you are letting the Treasury Department know that you are going to be using the principal of that bond to set off obligations or any public charges that your straw man may incur. You are leaving the all of the profits, interest, and everything to the Treasury Department. So this is going to tie into doing a UCC3. When you do a UCC3, you're going to be directing this bank to the commercial registry that will identify that you have a claim on your birth certificate and that all of your debts are supposed to be discharged through the Treasury Department. And you're not going to be making a draw off of a public account. That's where people get in trouble, and that's when you look in all these court cases where these judges are saying that, oh, he's saying that there's some imaginary account that exists and we have money in it and we can get the money out of the account. That is not what you're doing with this right here. You're not pulling money out of an account. You have a claim. Anybody knows that you have a lien on something, you can assign interest in that lien to other creditors in order to offset obligation. That is what you're doing. You're not making a draw off of a public account. Hold on, I'm going to open up the and let me, hold on, Mike. Okay, Gary, your mic is open. Now, what was your question again? Did that answer your question? Your mic is open. Gary, can you hear me? Your mic is open. Oh, okay, well, you can speak in the mic if you got a mic, too. Oh, you don't have any mic. Okay, cool. All right. What could that place of payment be? I'm not understanding that question. Hold on just a second. T-Bay, you're on the air. Your mic is open. What was your question? T-Bay, your mic is open. You can speak into the mic. The place of payment hello? T-Bay, can you hear me? Okay, let me just keep going, y'all. Everybody's having trouble with their mics. All right, let me keep going. He said he's speaking, but he can't hear me. Let me try to bring you in one more time. Okay, can you hear me now? No, you're not coming. You're not coming in. But anyway, I'll answer the question. I saw you typed it in. The place of payment, the place indicated next to the signature, the place of payment is where you're going to be directing. It's usually like a bank. It's like when you the bank is the payee, and on a normal check. All right. I'm sorry. The bank is the payor. Let me take that back. The bank is the payor, and the payee is usually the individual who is getting getting the funds. And let me just say this. You have to understand public and private with this, all right? You got to understand public and private. You got to understand that you're coming from the private into the public, and that makes them foreign to you. And that is why you're utilizing an international bill of exchange. You are foreign to this corporation. All right? That is important for you to understand. So two of these things got to be present. So then, usually what I'll do is then I'll do the drawer, and then I'll put use of L, or I'm sorry, I put my name in my Christian appellation of my name, and then I'll put care of that's enough. Okay, whenever I do my signature, my address, I'm always utilizing something like that right there. That's to let them know that I'm outside of this right here to me is one of the most important words that you can use to let them know where you're coming from, that you're coming from the private, even more than this republic thing. Because this is all business, and you let them know that you are outside of the United States, non-domestic without the United States. And usually, and so, and it says next to the name. So they'll say, yeah, I forgot. What I usually do is says the place where the bill is drawn. So I'm the drawer, and I'll say right to next to, and wait a minute, I'll have next to your name too. Wait, where does it say? The place indicated next to the signature of the drawer, the place where it is drawn, and we'll get into that later with the signature and everything later on when I do the signature line. Because I put it by the, I usually try to do about 2 or 3 of these things on here. That's what I do. But you want at least 2. That's what it says up in here. At least 2. You don't have to have all of them, but you need at least 2 of these things on this list need to be present on your international bill of exchange. Now let's go to Article 3. A bill of exchange is a written instrument which contains an unconditional order whereby the drawer directs the drawee to pay a definite sum of money to the payee or to his order. All right? It's payable on demand or at a definite time. It's dated. It's signed by the drawer. All right? So you got these things right here. You got these 4 things. All right? So I'm going to start with the date first. So usually I'll just go over here, on this side over here, and I'll put the date. My typing is horrible. And it is 11, what day is it? The 9th. put the date right there, okay? 2013. All right? What's the next one? It says, it's signed by the drawer. And usually I have a signature line. I'm just going to put the line right here for now. And I'll usually put something like, or, you know, what I usually like to put right here is autograph right here, or autograph of drawer, something like that, you know. And we'll make sure everything fits in a minute. So your signature is going to go right here, and usually right after that, I will put just a little note, the place next to where it's drawn. I'll put right after the signature. All right. Now you want everything in your document to match up, because everything that I'm doing right now is private on this particular instrument. Everything on here is private. All right. Now the next thing, let's go back to our booklet. So we got a date on it. We got signed by the drawer. It's payable on demand or at a definite time. So you can write, you can use the verbiage that they have in here. You could use a P.O. box. That's fine, as long as you put that care of on there. And the zip code is the thing that you really want. The P.O. box doesn't play a part in granting jurisdiction. It is the zip code that plays a part in granting jurisdiction. The P.O. box is just maintaining your privacy. That's what the P.O. box does. You don't need, nobody needs to know where your physical address is. So that's a part of privacy. So you can say, what I usually do right here, I'll put pay to the order of Now, the reason I put pay to bearer or to the order of, because I saw a judge tell somebody in court one time, oh, this is not a negotiable instrument. It doesn't have pay to bearer or to order of on it. So I just put this on mine like that to address that. All right? You're going to put your name that's on your Social Security card because it's your Social Security trust account. Somebody asked me, what do you put on there, your name or, you know, whatever. So it's going to be paid to the order of, and then you're going to put some certain, and then you can put USD right there, right there. Something like that right there, okay? Now, also, for value received, is going to go on it too. Now, I'm going to get the aesthetics on this correct. So it's payable on a demand or a definite time. So bearer is dated, it's signed by the drawer. So we have taken care of all these things. Contains an unconditional order whereby the drawer directs the drawee to pay a definite sum of money to the payee or to his order. All right? So we got all that on there. It's payable to bearer or to the order of. We're going to put the name of the individual. We have a sum certain, USD. All of that is on there. It's present. And let's go to the next one. Chapter 2, interpretation. In the interpretation of this convention, regard is to be made to its international character and to the needs to promote uniformity in its application and the observance of good faith in international transactions. Key words: good faith, uniformity in its application. But this right here is good faith is the key word, which is why you do an administrative process. Because in equity, you have to do things in good faith and with clean hands. Important. Let's continue. In this convention, bill means an international bill of exchange governed by this convention. Note means an international promissory note governed by this convention. Instrument means a bill or a note. Drawee means the person on whom a bill is drawn and who has not accepted it. Payee means the person in whose favor the drawer directs payment to be made or to whom the maker promises to pay. And you're the maker in a promissory note. And you're the drawer in an international bill of exchange. An important distinction for people to understand on that. Holder means the person in possession of an instrument in accordance with Article 15. A protected holder means a holder who meets the requirements of Article 29. And we've got to get into all these articles. And very important for you to understand is what a guarantor is. It means any person who takes an obligation of guarantee under Article 46, whether governed by Article 4, guaranteed, or paragraph 4. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to put all these articles on here real quick. Give me just a second. Yeah, the document that I'm reading from is in the Dropbox. It's in the Dropbox. Let me take all of this. I got some people's personal information on here. I got to take it off if I bring this back, if I bring this up. Okay. I'm giving you all a little glimpse. When we get through with this international bill of exchange, this is what it's going to look like once we get through with it. So I'm constructing it right now just so y'all can see this is what a completed international bill of exchange. And I did this. I created this myself. A banker showed me what to put on it, and this is what I put on it. Now, this right here, this information right here, this is what's going to go on your doing it? I don't know, did I get it? Yeah, I got it. Hold on, let me see if I got it. Oh, I gotta do it on the background. That's why it's not pasting. It's your oh, it's not pasting. Okay, well, let me just do it like this then. No big deal. These are your articles right here. Why this thing is not transferring? Should paste. Okay, there it is. All right. These are articles right here. And these are the articles that are being discussed, and usually I'll put it somewhere like that. And see how that's behind that picture right here? What you can do is you can go to layers, and you can put your range of layers. You can bring that to the front. You bring it into the front like that. Now you can see that it's still kind of interfering, this flag in the back is still kind of interfering with the picture. So that flag needs to be lightened up a little bit. So I'm going to go back to that flag and go back to my layer style and, I'm sorry, image, and adjust it. And there we go. A little bit more. All right. So now, and also I want to make it a little bigger. It's not big enough. Make it a little bigger. Make it a little bit more. Now you see how the International Bill of Exchange began to take on a little life of its own. You know, you started seeing, okay, now it says, pursuant to and in accordance with the final articles of the Universal Convention in effect on the date hereof, reference ratified convention article 1 through 7, 11, 2, 12, 46, 3, 47, 1, 53, guaranteed legal tender by the United States of America and obligation of the United States. All these articles that's being discussed right here are coming out of this document right here. This document right here. That's where those articles are coming out of. We won't have time to go through all of them because you only really need to know the first 7 to have you something that is functional, that give it legal force and effect. So you have your definitions right here: guarantor, party, maturity, signature, money or currency. Article 6, for the purpose of this convention, a person is considered to have knowledge of a fact if he has actual knowledge of the fact or could not have been unaware of its existence. This is also why you always send everything certified mail, to make sure that they have knowledge of a fact. And when your notary issues you a certificate of non-response, now you have a fact. And now you don't have any argument on the facts, because the facts have been established on the notarial record. They're on record now. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns right now? Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, let's continue. Okay, the sum payable by interest is deemed to be at a definite sum, although the instrument states that it is to be paid with interest. Now, here's something that people, you never see people talk about, you know, when they do their international. I don't see anybody do this, actually, and it just makes me wonder if they even read any of this stuff. Yes, you should read the entire document. I read this entire document. It's 96 articles. It's 41 pages, and it is a very, very interesting read. I don't do anything without reading everything. You know, I mean, I'm not going to sit here on a webinar and read this entire document through. That's crazy. You know, y'all, I'm sure everyone out here listening can read. But my purpose today is to give you some type of functional literacy on actually utilizing Adobe Photoshop and make you comfortable with creating your own negotiable instrument. So all of you out there won't be around there creating instruments that you find on the internet, and all y'all sending them, you know, into these places, and they seeing the very same instrument, and so now they're looking at y'all and saying, this is a person that got this off the internet. Okay, I'm getting questions now. Let me pull in Eric real quick. Eric, your mic is open. Eric. Oh, he don't have no mic either. Nobody had any mic. Okay, somebody said they wanted the impression that private docs are registered. Yes, they are registered. I mean, you register, go to the post office. You register things when you send money. That's why you register your bond, because it's a registered security. And they're going to ask you that at the post office. How much money are we talking about right here? How much insurance you want to put on it? So, yes, when you send an international bill of exchange, you're going to register it. You're going to register it. I mean, with registered mail, I always send everything. What do you mean by certified mail? I mean, you're going to do it. If you do I was using certified mail, and please don't start with with that. If you use registered or certified mail, you're doing an administrative process. And what you're trying to do is get a certificate of non-response or protest certificate. Once you get one of those things, now you have a judgment and estoppel of the law. So you don't always use registered mail. I don't use registered mail for anything. If I'm doing a verification of debt request, I don't use registered mail. Y'all out there just using registered mail for no reason and don't even know why you're using it. You just heard some myth about it, and that's what you do. But you use registered mail for money. When you're dealing with instruments, then you use registered mail. When I do a follow-up mailing, I'm going to use certified mail. I'm not going to use registered mail. You got all these things that will use registered mail in international commerce and use certified mail in domestic commerce. Show me that. Okay? Now, let's keep going. The sum payable by an instrument is deemed, and you got to be careful about this word deemed. Very careful about this word. Matter of fact, let's look this word up real quick. Very important word for people to understand out there is the word deemed. The word deemed. I mean, this word is so important, most people don't pay attention to it. It is deemed. Deemed, verb, to treat something as if it, one, were really something else, or two, it had qualities that it does not have, although the document was not in fact signed until April 21st, it explicitly states that it must be deemed to have been signed on April 14th. To consider, think, or judge. Now look at what the expert commentary says on the word deemed. Now you should always be careful of that word deemed whenever you see it in a contract. It says deemed has been traditionally considered to be a useful word when it is necessary to establish a legal fiction. There it is. And we all know that a legal fiction means an assumption that something is true, even though it may be untrue,
made especially in judicial reasoning to alter how a legal rule operates. And it says, it is necessary to establish a legal fiction either positively by deeming something to be what it is not, or negatively by deeming something not to be what it is. All other uses of the word should be avoided. Phrases like if he deems fit or as he deems necessary or nothing in this or nothing in this act should be deemed to are objectionable and unnecessary deviations from common usage. Things are considered or preferable in the first two examples and construed or interpreted in the third. Deeming creates an artificiality, and artificiality should not be resorted to if it can be avoided. Now, you see them saying that, so if they're using these words, and these are very intelligent men who craft these articles. So if you see him using this word right here, he's using it not to no avail. There's something specific and scientific why he's using that word right there. The sum payable by an instrument is deemed to be at a definite sum, although the instrument states that it is to be paid with interest, by installments at successive dates, with the stipulation in the instrument that upon default in payment of an installment, the unpaid balance becomes due, according to a rate of exchange indicated in the instrument or to be determined as directed by the instrument. Now, in a currency other than the currency in which the sum is expressed in the instrument. So if you're doing something overseas, you can say, okay, this is going to be taken in dinars or rubles or whatever. Well, what's real good, you can put, what I don't see people doing, you can make it by installments at successive dates. So if you're doing your mortgage, and I like win-win situations, you could, if you have a mortgage for $300,000 and the interest rate on your mortgage was 12%, you can say, okay, here's an international bill of exchange. Y'all can draw off of my lien of claim at an interest rate of 12% every 30th of every month with this negotiable instrument right here. You could draft your instrument, and that way the bank will get all their interest. They'll get all their interest. You see what I'm saying? Because banks are after interest. And that's one of the things they don't like is when you cheat them out of their alleged interest payments that they're supposed to be receiving. But you can draw up your international bill of exchange where it's worded to do that. Now look at Article 8. It says, if there is a discrepancy between the sum expressed in words and the sum expressed in figures, the sum payable by the instrument is the sum expressed in words. In other words, if you do your instrument and you write in here, over here, $1,500, and you put over here $1,400. All that's saying is, when you read this again, it says that the sum payable to the instrument is sum expressed in words. So even if you type something and you make a mistake, like this right here, it does not invalidate the instrument because this is going to govern. The words right here are going to govern. Right here. All right? Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? Questions, comments, or concerns? The drop box, somebody asked me where the drop box is. You will receive what the drop box you don't have access to because I don't give these videos like this away for free, number one. So write down your notes and study and everything, but I don't give these away for free. Yeah, there's some more verbiage that's going to go there. Now, let me throw this in here right now. There is one word that you can put on your instrument that will keep you out of jail. All right? It's a set of words. It's a set of words that you're going to get, and there's these words right here. Void were prohibited by law. This is all the difference between if some prosecutor wants to come along and try to say, well, hey, he's doing something illegal. Hey, man, I ain't doing anything illegal, man. I said void were prohibited by law. If this is illegal, then it's void. If it's prohibited in your area, then it's void were prohibited by law. Put that on your document somewhere. Yes, these documents are used in an administrative process when you are discharging a debt. Right now, though, we are going over the International Bill of Exchange because these are utilized for discharging debt if you were already a secure party creditor. Because like right here, when you see this value received, right here, this is where you're going to put your UCC1 filing number. You're going to direct them right here to put your UCC1 filing number is going right here. That's instructing that banker to look into the commercial. And that's why also you got to file a UCC1 in every state, in the state that you do business in, the state where you live at, where you were born, primarily the state where you're born. Because right here, you're going to let this banker or whoever it is know that they need to go to the commercial registry and see that you have a claim of lien on your particular property, i.e. your labor, and that you have duly informed the Treasury Department of such, and they have tacitly consented through tacit appropriation to the contents of their document that you're going to be utilizing all of this for, you know, the discharge of debt. Okay, somebody said, wait, what goes on for value received line again? It's going to your UCC number. Your UCC filing number. UCC filing number. Value received from. I think I wrote that right. Hold on. I don't have this stuff committed to memory like that. Right here, you see this right here? When you look at, let me close all some of these. You see value received and charged to account of UCC contract trust, and then you're going to put your UCC number right here, not your Social Security number. It's going to be your UCC filing number. And that's letting them know. You can even put in there, you can put UCC contract trust, or you can put UCC filing number. Oops. If you got that Secretary of State, you know, you put the number right here, your filing number right there on that line. And the reason why is because you're letting them know, you're letting everybody know that you got a UCC1 file. When you got that, they give you a filing number for a reason. And this right here is going to keep you out of trouble. It's going to keep you out of trouble due to the fact that you are not doing a draw off the public. You're not drawing money off an account. You're not drawing money off an account, all right? And I might as well just use this right here for the All right, now, another thing that you want to put on your instrument is this recorded, registered, certified. Somebody asked me about the registered mail number. Now, this is an important line to put on your instrument. Recorded, registered, certified. RE 123 456 789 US. Now, what number is this right here? What number is that right there? That number, and I always put this number in red. You saw highlighted. That number is the registered mail number that you originally sent all your documentation to the Treasury Department with. You always use that registered mail number because that's where you record it. That registered mail number stays with you forever when you do your secure party creditor process. So you always make reference to that particular number. Now, do you need to put it right there? No, you don't have to put it right there. You don't have to draw this instrument like I'm doing it right now. This is how I did it. I'm just showing you how you can do it. This is not written in stone, what I'm showing you right now. I did it like this is because I like how it looks like this. You may have another way that you want to construct yours. Do not construct your instrument. Does anywhere in this document, does it tell you how it's supposed to look? It doesn't tell you anywhere in this document how it's supposed to look. All it tells you is what needs to be on it. So you can construct your instrument any kind of way that you want. I'm showing you how to do it professionally, and the reason I want you to do it professionally is because you do want to give these people something that they can take to trade. You don't want to hand them any garbage. You have a piece of garbage, you want to hand them and leave it and look like something, well, wow, this is professional. I can probably take this and go take it to trade. You always want to think about that, all right? I know when I first started coming out with these, I got a call from Chevrolet. I was doing it. I was doing it. That's the registered mail number that is from your original filing. This is your original filing right here that you did with the Treasury Department when you first did your secure party creditor process. That's what that is right there. That's what that is. All right? Now, you will also see, you'll see right here, you can see right here as payable to bearer to order. I put a Royal Loan Service, and I always put their state where they're located by, they're from. Because this is the payee right here. So when you go back to your instructions, you will see place indicated next right here. Place indicated next to the payee. See right here, place indicated next to the payee, and then the place indicated next to the drawee. And you can see right here that I put that, I'll put private banker, and I put Georgia State right here next to that was next to the name up here. And then I put that next to the payee right here. I'll put their address. I'll put their address right there. And then I put is paid at site days after not applicable. Now this right here, you can put your interest rate at 8% interest 30 days after. You know, like if you're gonna like do a mortgage, you can say, okay, pay at 8%